Hello, ladies and gentlemen. If you clicked on this video, you're probably aware that Apollo scraping has just been officially cut off as of 2025. So in this video, I'm going to be telling you the new best solution, exactly what happened, what this means, and exactly what you should be doing. Okay, so let's get into it. Now, for those of you who are pretty tapped into the cold email world, you've probably heard of Export Apollo, Boomerang, Urban Starter, Ample Leads, Appify. You've probably heard me talk about them on various different videos. You might have even seen it from other creators because this is pretty much what everyone has been doing for cold email lead scraping for probably the past couple of years, right? For the longer time that I've been in cold email. All of these providers have pretty much all shut down. Some of them still operate here and there. They have like a little bit of uptime, then a bunch of downtime, and they're super unreliable recently. Again, if you guys are in cold email, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You'll order a list from one of these providers. They'll take a couple of days to come. Then the leads come back. It's not even your list. It's just a complete nightmare. So essentially speaking, Apollo scraping is dead. Okay, now for those of you wondering why that is, I mean, very simple answer. Apollo's a billion-dollar company. It's been, long due. They obviously have the resources to, take a couple of web crawlers, whatever they're called, off their website, and that's exactly what's happening right now. Now, the solution I'm going to be showing you guys in this video is not another Apollo scraper, but it's also not an Apollo alternative. In the sense that it's not just some super expensive platform that you have to pay thousands of dollars for, because let's be honest, a lot of the guys watching this video might just be getting started in cold email and they don't have $30,000 a year to pitch out to ZoomInfo. Okay, now for those of you who are unfamiliar, there's plenty of lead platforms: Apollo, Seamless, ZoomInfo, Hunter. I mean, I can name another dozen, right, if I wanted to, but all of these platforms do the same exact thing. They offer lead scraping. Now, what most people don't know is all of these platforms are all actually LinkedIn Sales Navigator scrapers, okay? Now, trust me, I'm not going to tell you guys to use LinkedIn Sales Navigator. For those of you who have used LinkedIn Sales Navigator, you guys know that it's, for starters, costs money. For second of all, it takes such patience to use this platform, because the leads that you try to build on there, they're not going to be fully accurate. The searching is very limited. And even then, you can only export in small chunks. You have to export in small chunks, then combine them. It's just a headache, okay? Now, the reason why platforms like ZoomInfo, like Apollo, like Lusha, why these platforms exist, is they essentially go and do the heavy lifting of scraping LinkedIn Sales Navigator as well as other sources, and they combine all this data and create one central database of lead flow, which you can then access using a simple interface. Okay, they're doing the heavy lifting and allowing you, the consumer, to use their data. Okay, now all of these platforms, essentially speaking, the only difference between them is how good they are at scraping LinkedIn. Okay, or I mean, of course, some of these platforms like ZoomInfo, like they do a lot more. They get intent signals and this and that. But point of the matter is, at a core, every single data platform is just using LinkedIn Sales Navigator. Okay, that's why if you've ever looked into it, all of these platforms output LinkedIn profiles, and pretty much 99% of leads will have a LinkedIn profile, because if they're not on LinkedIn, right, then they're not on these platforms. Okay, they don't have to be active or anything like that, but they do need to be physically present on this platform. They need to have an account, because when you register, you do give LinkedIn your contact information. Okay, now I'm going to jump into it. The platform that we are talking about is a platform called Aleads. Okay, now for those of you who are cold email veterans, you've probably heard of Aleads before. They used to offer Apollo scraping. This used to be a part of their offering. They are no longer an Apollo scraper. I want to make that abundantly clear. This is not what they used to be. Okay, now we actually use Aleads right now in our company for literally all of our lead exporting, right? For our own campaigns as well as the campaigns of our clients. So I can say for certain that this is a good solution and it's reliable, which is the most important thing when running a business, because we run a cold email agency. Obviously, I can't just have a week of downtime, because that means a week of client results being taken away, and that's unacceptable. Okay. Now, Aleads looks and functions exactly like Apollo in the sense you have a people tab, you have a companies tab. Okay. What I like is they've kind of taken the best from each tool, right? They also have a data enrichment section where you can come in, like I know Seamless has a feature like this, where you can literally put in a list of people and you can enrich. They have an email validator built in. They have a file system built in. This is great, because for those of you who run an agency, or maybe not run an agency, but you send a lot of emails, sometimes you might want to reuse an old lead list. Okay, and almost none of these Apollo scrapers actually have like a nice dashboard. I mean, Export Apollo used to, but not anymore. That you can access and have like files and folders and stuff like that. You have all of these functionalities within Aleads, but enough of the files, whatever, put that aside. let's talk about the actual data scraping. Now, for starters, Aeleads has access to 240 million leads, okay? Now, just to make an example, if we actually go over to Apollo, I'll show you guys how much Apollo has access to just to do a side-by-side comparison. If we come here into people, clear all filters, clear all, Apollo has access to 235 million, whereas Aeleads has 240 million. So they basically have everything that Apollo has, plus a little bit extra from whatever other sources they're getting data from. But this makes perfect sense, right? They're both starting with LinkedIn Sales Nav. Okay, that's the starting point for both of these companies. Okay, now if you've ever used anything, any data scraper, this already looks familiar for you. Obviously, I'll make a detailed tutorial on how exactly to use Aeleads sometime in the future. But like, if you know how to use literally any data scrape or any data platform, whether it's Apollo, Instantly, whatever, or Instantly also has data now, Apollo, Seamless, any of those providers, you will know how to use this. Okay, I'll make a very simple sample lead list just to show you guys. Let's say that we're targeting, for example, I don't know, e-commerce companies. Okay, you can come into here, go into location. First thing we're going to do, we're going to type in United States, okay? And we're going to add United States as our location, okay? We're going to jump in and we're going to go and put in, for example, under company, we're going to put in a couple of example companies and we're going to see what they come up as. So let's say we'll do Gymshark. We'll do, I don't know, like Young LA, if that's actually their website. Let's double check that. I don't know. I don't shop in any of these brands personally. And then what's another like sportswear brand, whatever that, let's just do these two. Okay, let's take a look. So I think Gymshark's not actually based in the United States. Let me remove that. And we can see right here. So these are the two companies. So if we scroll here, we'll be able to see the filters and the keywords. Let me put that back into the frame right there that these companies apply into. So they're both, this one's under retail, this one's under retail, apparel, and fashion. And we get to the keywords, are fitness and retail and fashion. So let's say I want to build a lead list just like this. We'll do retail and apparel and fashion. For those of you who don't know, I'm just building a lookalike. That's what I'm doing here. We'll come into here, go into right here, and we're going to do retail. We're going to do retail and fashion, or let's do fashion, apparel, fashion. There we go. Okay. So we're going to do those two industries. Then we're going to set United States. We're going to target this employee range companies. Then we're going to go and we're going to go into company keywords. We're going to include keywords. And we're going to say something like fitness brand. Okay. Obviously, if you're actually looking to build out a company, there is, or an actual lead list, there's much more that you need to do. But just to make an example for you guys, we'll do this. Let's take a look at Rad. This certainly looks like a fitness brand. Okay. Let's move on. Let's take a look at Georgie. It's actually my name, Georgie. For those of you who are unfamiliar, my name is Georgie, not Gregory. A lot of people think my name is Gregory, but it's actually Georgie. They sell some drinks. So this is not I guess it is a fitness brand because they sell these drinks, but we want more apparel. So let's do this. Fitness clothes. Let's see if that comes up. 34 companies. Okay. Let's do fitness, or let's do activewear. You have to play with the keywords. There we go, 646. This should now give me a list. Yep, that looks a little bit more accurate. Okay, this certainly does look right. Yes, okay. Now that we've done that, what we can do is we can come here, we can go into people. Now it's gonna show you all of the people at the companies that fit those criteria, similar to how any other platform would do this, okay? And let's go into here and go into job titles and do CEO, owner, founder. Okay. Now I'm not going to export like a million leads here because we are actually paying for these credits. So this is real money that I'm spending here. But what you can do is you can just select right here and you can go ahead and just click bulk export. Now this is the beauty, because you're not scraping Aeleads, you're actually exporting it the way that you're supposed to be exporting it. You don't have to do any waiting or anything, right? Obviously, if you export like 100,000 leads, there's probably a couple of minutes of delay, but I can just click bulk export. Let's all except selected. We can do all 267, and you can even go and you can limit certain things. Like let's say you want only a certain amount of people per company, or only to enrich leads with emails. Sure. Let's go ahead and do that. You can even get personal emails. You can get phone numbers. You can get leads without emails. Okay, and you can even connect to a CRM, right? You can connect to a CRM and immediately put this in. I don't have any CRM connected because we don't do that, but I'm just going to do only emails just to make my example very, very clear. Enter a descriptive name. Let's go ahead and do YouTube video test. We're going to go ahead and click create export. Your enrichment is scheduled. You can click right here, check status, give it a minute. Alrighty, so it took a couple minutes, like 2-3 minutes, and here you see that it is now done. I can click right here and it'll actually give you a breakdown. So out of the emails that we exported, only 124 of them were valid. So those are the only ones that it actually exported, and those are the only ones that you actually pay for, okay? So I can go right here, I can click download file now, and we can go ahead, open this up in a spreadsheet, and I can show you guys exactly what that looks like. So let's go right here, import, upload, put this in, and we will take a look right now. So just like that, boom, you have the first names right here. You have the last names, you have the job titles, company names, obviously personal email. That is not a record that we requested, so we don't have that. Work emails, all of these are good. We still like to million verify these after personally, just because we don't send to catch-alls. The way that A-Leads actually works is they will verify your leads and they'll include the good emails, like on Million Verify good, and also the risky emails. We don't send to risky at all, not because the data is inaccurate, but just because we want to maintain the absolute best deliverability possible. We found that we don't want to send to those personally, okay? But they do return all of the relevant emails, okay? Again, A-Leads, it shows you the Google, Google or Outlook, whichever is the ESP, the person's address, the country, seniority, departments, their LinkedIn, the summary, like everything, pretty much everything that you could want, it's all in here, okay? So at this point, you could just take this, go in, do whatever you need to do with this data, whether it's send it to your reps, put it in a sequence, whatever it might be, but essentially that is how the software works. So very similar to if you've ever used any other data provider, nothing complex about it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm going to link everything in the description as per usual. So if you guys have any questions, then, feel free to reach out to their team. They have support, give it a try. Again, A-Leads is certainly a little bit more pricey than using something like an Apollo scraper, but it is significantly cheaper than using something like Seamless or Apollo or ZoomInfo by miles. And honestly, this is something that was long far due, right? Something like Apollo scraping is not going to be around forever. And I think it's better for the cold email world, to be honest, that it is gone now, because that's going to weed out a lot of the people who aren't very serious, okay? But with that being said, thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys soon, and until next time.